My advice would be to ask professors when you need help because they're there to help. And I found that going and seeing them during their office hours is the best way to get connected to your professors, and they're more willing to help if you build that relationship.
Take everything that you learn and try to apply it into the real world. For some people that may be kind of hard, but that's the best way to learn. There's a difference between learning and memorization, and you should try to focus on learning and not memorizing. So therefore, associate everything that you learn some kind of way to where it is in your brain and not just memorizing for the test.
For me, I was one of those stubborn students that thought I could do everything myself just because that's kind of the way I'd operated in high school. And the only time I really sought help was when I had turned in a paper and my professor said, come see me. And so I did that. In college, especially at PLU, there's a lot of resources for you to take advantage of. And the big thing you need to realize is that they're not going to come to you have to go to them. So it takes a lot of initiative on your part.
My favorite professor is Jennifer Smith. I love her because she introduced me to Women and Gender Studies through my Writing 101 class. And the class was small, and I think it only had maybe 12 people in it. And so we all got to know each other, and it was more of a discussion rather than lecture, and we learned about things that we all liked. We all watch reality TV, we all see advertisements, and I got to do my final project on Superbad, so it was just a really fun class to be in. And she's funny, and she's relatable, and I still keep in contact with her today.
My first professor that I had that I really was like, she just blew my mind, she was so great, was Dr. Eisen. And I took her Islam class the spring semester of my freshman year, and it was a great class. I think it's one of the best classes I've taken so far at PLU, and she just was so good at pushing students' boundaries and encouraging them to look at things a different way. And she really took the time, even outside of class, to meet with students. And I just felt so comfortable going to her office hours and talking to her about what we were working on in class. And in fact, I actually ended up working with her to put on a panel with the PLU Democrats about the Afghanistan war and how Islam played a role in that. So.
I became a better writer by just writing a lot and learning from what professors would tell me, and if I got a bad grade, I wouldn't take it personally, but I would meet with them and talk about how I can improve my writing because they know more than I do, so taking that into consideration. And also I went to the writing center a few times, and it helped to read out loud with somebody else my writing, so then I could notice mistakes and things I need to improve on.
I think I've become a better writer in that I'm more capable of writing in different styles, because being a liberal arts education, there are lots of different writing skills that you need to have. And I mean, you need to be an overall good writer, but you also need to be able to adapt to the different disciplines that you're in. And so people in the religion department expect a different kind of writing than people in, say, the English department or the political science department. And so having that ability to sort of switch your writing to fit whatever department you're working in is, I think, something that I've improved on.
Since coming to college, I've actually learned a lot about how to find scholarly articles, because usually when I did research papers back in high school, it was just type it into Google and you'll find something. But with like the library resources and then Google Scholar, it's been really beneficial and actually made my papers a lot stronger. So learning how to use those types of resources has been helpful.
I've learned a lot about technology, in particular with my extracurriculars. Again, ASPLU, we do a lot of work with making sure that we're managing budgets appropriately, with planning events, and when it comes to doing those kinds of things, you really need to learn what is the best way of doing this. So if you're trying to figure out what's kind of the benefits of doing this event over this event financially, Excel, for example, is the big thing that we use. A lot of what I've kind of taken to heart, obviously I'm not the most technical student, I'm not a engineering student, but in terms of kind of the career choices I want to take, I've learned a lot about the technological applications I can use when I kind of move on to that level of my life.
I motivate myself by reminding myself why I'm here, and also how much money it is to go to PLU, and like this is a really big investment that I'm making and my parents are making, and I don't want to take it for granted, and so I remind myself of that, and also that if I do well in college, it should help me get a job afterwards.
I think the big part of how I motivate myself is I'm making sure that I'm having fun. College for me is the most stressful time of my life by far, but it's also been the most fun and by far the most rewarding. And for me, the big thing that I've gotten from it is this. To motivate yourself, you really need to make sure that what you're doing is something you're passionate about. And that goes for everything from academics to your job to what you're doing with your friends, your social life, and it kind of goes through all those different aspects of your life while you're at college. And I would definitely recommend that you evaluate, is this something I'm really passionate about when you do that?